Okay, what's going on, everyone? MCOC Doc here, and today I want to talk about the absolute beast, almost undeniable queen of power control, Magik. Magik is probably the easiest to use, easiest to control, and easiest to access power control in the game. That is also extremely powerful. Just with her SP2, you have both the Power Lock, Power Steal, and because of those two, you get a lot of power control. It's really easy to use. She's amazing for Hyperion and something like that. And now that Hyperion is back as the AQ Map 5 boss, as far as I'm aware, Map 5 is still like where majority of players are. So I figured now would be a great time to talk about Magik. I know Empathetic Lock makes her weaker because she can't gain power for the first little bit there, but that's alright. I still want to talk about her. I've been thinking about doing her for a little while. So let's start off. Basic attributes of Magik are pretty much the exact same as everyone else. I'm not even going to touch upon those. Now, her durability is not necessary at all, which is what makes her really powerful. None of her power control actually comes from her durability, although her durability is what makes her a painful defender. So Darkchild, after filling your bar of power, Magik has a 20% chance to enter limbo. And what happens during a limbo is that you're dealing energy damage per second, and any damage that she takes during that time, that gets healed up at the very end. Now, it is possible for someone like Guillotine to cause this damage to happen twice with her heal reversal. So it is just an actual regen. It says that it's rewound, but it is just straight regen immediately. No like regen time or anything like that. It's just an immediate health boost. The chance increases after filling 2 bars of power, and increases again after filling 3 bars of power. And chances are multiplied based on your sig level. So every time you fill a bar of power, you have a pretty good chance to enter into that limbo state. Even better, the higher power you are. And unduped Magik will only enter this limbo during special attacks. So during special attacks, they have a very small window before and after the special attack. Then you're going to be in a limbo if you're not duped. Otherwise, when you reach your bar of power, you have that chance to enter it as well. During your special attacks, opponents do not generate power. Most opponents will get a little bit of power from every hit of your special attacks. People do not gain any power from Magik special attacks. Great if you want to get that SP2 off. Alright, so her SP1 is pretty helpful as well. 100% chance to nullify a buff. It will only nullify one buff, however. You will, again, enter limbo during that phase, and you'll deal a little bit of energy damage for that buff nullified. It's not great, but if you need to nullify something really quick, this can be pretty helpful. If you're running like, say it's an arc overload, something like that, you also have that chance to nullify the armor up, so it's not super great, but that's where her SP3 comes in if you need to nullify a lot. We'll talk about that after talk about the SP2, however. The SP2, again, enter limbo during the for the duration, small window before and after. And you also have a 85% chance to power lock, so a very good chance of power lock. Happens much more often than it doesn't. You also have a 100% chance to power steal, and you're going to be taking 33%, so a bar of power, as your own. What's interesting about this is what happens when the opponent is at 0 power. Now, Kabam has had varying responses based on what happens. But the easiest way to explain it is that if the opponent is at exactly 0 power when you hit that SP2, and they're power locked, then you will be gaining 33% power, even if they're at 0. However, if they are at, like, say 10%, then you only gain that 10%. So they need to be at that 0 mark. Otherwise, you're going to be gaining less power. So the 33% is maximum, but it can go down to a very small amount if they have a very small amount of power. And what I sometimes do is I'll actually give them a little bit more power. I'll wait for the power locks to go away, and I'll give them a little bit more power, and then I'll just take that if I want to stack those SP2s up. Finally, her SP3 really helpful for someone like Groot. You have 100% to nullify all buffs. You'll increase the attack that you do during the special by 700, so over 50% for every single buff removed. So you're going to be nullifying all buffs, and doing an insane amount of damage while you're doing it. An absolute Groot killer. Other champions like that, like let's say Red Skull, you're going to nullify all his armor ups. You're going to make a ton of damage while you're doing it, and you're going to get rid of all of them. So Magik has a lot of really good abilities. Nullify, the power lock. So let's hop into some gameplay and actually show how to use her, show a little bit of strategy, and also how to corner lock your opponent. Okay, so let's hop into some gameplay here. Basically, Magik isn't so much a ramp-up champion, so I'm going to be focusing a lot on showing off her utility. Just through a couple fights here. Psylocke is basically what you're going to get in a normal fight every day from Magik. You get up to that SP2, you can get that standing intercept. The standing intercept is probably the biggest offensive ability that Magik can do that a lot of champions can't. It's really good if you want to play wicked aggressive like that. I do unluckily miss one there, which caused me to get hit in a couple of seconds, but Limbo, you see, doing that damage finishes her off. That was a pretty good example of really aggressive gameplay. This one's going to be not as aggressive getting up to that SP2. Against Hyperion, when he has that constant power gain, you have to play more aggressive. But once you get him to throw his specials, once you get up to your SP2, then everything's going to be going your way once you have that power lock on him. You can even be at 3 bars of power if you get there, as long as you get to that SP2. 100% ability accuracy on that power drain is really good. I'm at a point right now where I could have gone in for a combo if I needed to, if he didn't bait out and just went after me. I still would have gotten those 2 bars of power, but once I get those 2 bars of power, he's now locked, he's at below a bar of power, and I can play as aggressive as I want. I'm trying for a couple more standing intercepts, but I kind of don't do too well with them. I think next up is going to be a Groot. And so this is the fight I was talking about earlier on her SP3. That's what we're going to be focusing on here. Just dealing extra damage with that. Just dealing a lot of extra damage because of the increased attack per buff. The timer you see there is the Heimdall synergy I'm running. That would give her a critical rate from actually running it. All that Mystic Dispersion from those buffs going out gives me an SP3. So with 7 buffs, you can see we just absolutely get rid of chunks of him. What does that do for damage? 20,000 damage on that SP3. Later on, against Winter Soldier, I do another one just to kind of show what kind of damage it does. And it only does about 4k, so it's a massive increase. Here's that Winter Soldier fight I was just talking about. First things first, because magic damage is so low, I do end up using 2 Heimdall Synergies in this fight. So I get an increased precision buff and a 15% fury. I didn't talk about them before, but Magik really doesn't have that many interesting synergies. Heimdall's synergy for the fury isn't even with her. The one for the critical rate isn't doing too much. Now, what this Winter Soldier fight is going to show is just how aggressive you can play with Magik. You can see all of those standing intercepts that I'm hitting, which is something that very few champions can do. Magik and Carnage are the ones that, off the top of my head, can do them. But with perfect timing, then they're absolutely amazing to keep your opponent locked against the wall, to keep playing aggressive, just do as much damage as you can. He's not even getting a time to hit me. Another interesting thing you do with Magik, I use this with Psylocke a lot, and any other times that I've power locked the champion, is those 4-hit combos, end with a light, back out, and go immediately back in. Backdraft intercepting is the term for it, and it's great if you're playing aggressive. If you have them locked like that, you can just do that constantly forever. Limbo's dealing a lot of extra damage. We have almost 100% uptime on it now. And in a couple minutes, I'll start actually testing that out here. Right here is going to be the first big one. I just decided to stand there and kind of take some hits. Now, what you're noticing is that the Limbo timer got away, but it didn't actually get the health. Until the very last Limbo goes away, you're not going to get any of that health. so it's not extremely useful for tanking stuff like SP3s. It can work if you were to say combine Heimdall Synergy. If you have that limbo up, you could tank that SP3, wait for the limbo to go up, and you'll gain all your health back. That is a viable option, but you do need that Heimdall Synergy. That synergy is available to everyone as long as you have Heimdall on your team. At this point, we're pretty much going pretty slow. I decide to just finish it off. Go for the SP3 to test out the damage here. He's at 71%. You can see we take off 1%, and even with 50% attack boost, that does only 4,000. So that kind of gives you an idea just how where 7 buffs gave me a, what's that, a 500, 400%? No, it's 500% attack boost. And at this point, I'm decided that we're just going to finish it off. Test out Limbo a little bit more, I think. Maybe I'm going to kill him a little more. Just going to try for a couple more standing intercepts. That Fury buff from Heimdall kind of helps a little bit, but you can see we're only hitting 800 crit, 1300. Her SP2 crits are pretty helpful. Again, I can just play as aggressive as I really want here. At this point, yeah, I'm kind of getting a little bit tired of doing this fight. I decide to just finally wrap it up. I'm just standing there. Limbo's healing me up, though. I think in a second here, the Heimdall Synergy is going to activate. I want to heal up from the Limbo there, and he's finally going to kill me after all that. So, alright. So that is pretty much Magik. 218 hits, just over 30% damage on Winter Soldier. Not good at all. But all of that utility is just absolutely exceptional. Just to show really quickly here, that Heimdall Synergy I was talking about, just so you can see it for reference, I only have a 3-star Heimdall, but that's alright. It would be the Guardian of the Rainbow Bridge that caused me to not die. Lost Daughters of Asgard gives me 15% base attack fury, and the Enchanted Blades is the one with Magik that will give me that precision buff. Only 250 critical rate is not very good at all. We'll just go back to Magik really quickly to show off her synergies, and just, I think her biggest one is probably early on when her and Colossus are your 2 biggest options. This can be great to get that 10% health boost, but it's nothing interesting. She does have another perfect synergy with the guillotine, but it's not a big benefit at all. So yeah, that is pretty much Magik. Hopefully you enjoy that. Standing intercept is insane. You can play really aggressive with it, and it's really helpful. SP2, that power lock, you can just be as aggressive as you want. If you like playing aggressive, this is the champion for you. You'll be able to do it all day, every day. Power lock is still a very helpful ability. Map 5 Hyperion, I think I talked about earlier, is an absolute pain, and she can definitely deal with him after the empathetic block runs up. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Be sure to leave a like if you did, and follow my Twitter for updates on videos and that kind of stuff. I think in the future I want to run out of champions to do tutorials on, so let me know if you have any suggestions. Other than that, I think I'll be going back to kind of focusing on big picture stuff. Like, I want to do a video on Android versus Apple and playing Quake on that. I want to finish up my Perfect Quake tutorial video and do a video on how to evade a bunch of difficult specials like Sentinel's SP1 and SP2 and all that kind of stuff. Cable's SP1, Electra's SP1, all those pain in the ass specials that are actually relatively easy to dodge and punish. So that's what I think I'm going to be focusing on for a while. Let me know if that's good with you guys. If you have any suggestions and that kind of stuff, I'm always open to those, and I always enjoy them and try to do my best to fulfill them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.